The story of the boy and the king is one of the most emotional and inspiring tales told by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This profound story highlights themes such as faith, perseverance, and the victory of truth over oppression. It is an eternal narrative that has been passed down from generation to generation, providing valuable lessons to all who hear it. In this tale, we meet a young boy who, thanks to his unwavering faith and bravery, challenges the oppression of a tyrannical monarch, becoming a symbol of divine truth and courage. In a kingdom ruled by a cruel and oppressive king, there lived a young boy known for his sharp intelligence and insatiable curiosity. This boy, eager to learn, sought knowledge wherever he could find it. His quest led him to a wise and devout monk living in seclusion on the outskirts of the kingdom. This monk was known for his profound wisdom and unwavering faith in the one true God. Despite the danger, the boy decided to approach him, hoping to absorb his vast knowledge. The monk, perceiving the fervor and potential of the boy, took him under his wing. He taught him about true faith and the paths of righteousness, emphasizing the importance of worshiping the one true God. The boy learned quickly, absorbing the teachings with remarkable speed and understanding. He discovered the power of prayer, the virtues of patience and humility, and the strength that comes from unwavering faith. Under the monk's guidance, the boy's faith grew stronger each day. He began to see the world in a different light, understanding the divine order and the importance of living a righteous life. The bond between the boy and the monk grew stronger, turning their relationship into one of mentor and disciple, based on mutual respect and the quest for truth. Meanwhile, the king, who practiced a false religion and demanded that his subjects worship him as a deity, became increasingly paranoid about any threat to his authority. He had spies and informers spread throughout the kingdom, always looking for signs of dissent or rebellion. It wasn't long before rumors about the monk's teachings reached the king's ears. The idea of a monk spreading a faith that contradicted his decrees was intolerable to him, and he decided to act quickly. The king ordered his soldiers to capture the monk to put an end to his influence. Despite the king's decree, the boy continued to visit his mentor in secret, sneaking through hidden paths and dense forests to reach the monk's secluded dwelling. The boy's determination and bravery were remarkable, and the monk, aware of the growing danger, intensified his efforts to impart as much knowledge and wisdom to the boy as possible. One day, while on his way to see the monk, the boy encountered a fierce creature blocking the path of the villagers. The creature was immense, with sharp claws and an intimidating gaze, and had been causing panic among the villagers for several days. The people were terrified and did not dare to cross the path, which was now deserted, except for the brave boy who dared to walk it. Trusting in his faith, the boy picked up a stone from the ground and prayed to God for help. He asked for strength and courage, fully trusting in the divine power he deeply believed in. With a steady hand and unwavering determination, he threw the stone at the creature. By the grace of God, the stone struck the beast with such force that it fell dead, clearing the way for the villagers. The townspeople who witnessed the event were amazed by the boy's bravery and the miracle they had just witnessed. News of the boy's astonishing act quickly spread throughout the kingdom, reaching the ears of the king. Curious and suspicious, the king summoned the boy to his court, wishing to meet the young man who had performed such a remarkable feat. The boy, aware of the danger, went to the royal court with unwavering faith and a serene demeanor. When the boy arrived at the court, the king observed him closely, trying to uncover the source of his strength and bravery. The boy's serenity and unwavering faith caught the monarch's attention, who demanded to know the origin of his power. Without fear and with determination, the boy proclaimed his belief in the one true God and attributed the miracle to divine intervention. The king, enraged by the boy's firmness and refusal to renounce his faith, ordered severe punishments. The boy was imprisoned in a dungeon with his hands and feet chained. The king hoped that the dark, cold cell would break the boy's spirit, but he remained steadfast. In the darkness, The boy prayed for strength and guidance, and his faith provided an inner light that the king's cruelty could not extinguish. Weeks passed, and every day the boy faced new challenges. He was deprived of food, beaten, and subjected to intense interrogations. However, despite the harsh trials, his faith did not waver. He continued to pray, seeking comfort and strength in his belief in the one true God. Every time the king's men tried to break him, the boy remained intact, protected by his unwavering faith and divine mercy. The boy's tenacity and the miracles occurring around him began to inspire the people of the kingdom. Rumors about his faith and the power of his God spread among the inhabitants, who started to question the king's authority and the false religion he imposed. The king, realizing that his power was weakening, became more determined to break the boy's spirit and eliminate the growing threat to his rule. The boy's unwavering faith and the miracles that followed him became a beacon of hope for the oppressed in the kingdom. They saw him as a symbol of divine truth and a testament to the power of belief. The boy's story spread throughout the kingdom, reaching even the most remote corners. His bravery and resilience inspired many to rethink their own beliefs and question the legitimacy of the king's rule. Despite the king's relentless attempts to eliminate the boy's influence, he remained steadfast in his faith. His actions and the miracles he performed became a symbol of hope for those who wished to free themselves from the king's tyranny. The boy's faith had ignited a spark of hope in the hearts of the people, a spark that the king could not extinguish. As the boy's influence grew, so did the king's desperation. He knew he had to find a way to break the boy's spirit once and for all or risk losing control of the kingdom. The stage was set for a final and decisive confrontation between the boy's unwavering faith and the king's oppressive regime. The outcome of this battle would define the kingdom's fate and the future of its people. The monarch's rage was uncontrollable. The boy's surprising survival and the growing influence of his faith had driven the sovereign into a state of unbridled fury. The idea that a mere child could challenge his power and spark a rebellion among the population was unbearable. Determined to destroy the boy's spirit and use him as an example, the king planned a series of increasingly cruel punishments. The monarch ordered that the boy be brought before him, and as the child stood in the luxurious and vast hall of the palace, the king's eyes shone with anger. However, the boy remained serene, his faith giving him strength. With the intention of breaking the boy's spirit through terror, the king began his series of torments. To start, the boy was tied to a high stake in the center of the market. In full view of everyone, the king ordered his strongest soldiers to whip him mercilessly. The crowd gathered, drawn by the spectacle, their faces reflecting a mixture of horror and astonishment. Each blow that struck the boy's back was met with a prayer on his lips, demonstrating his unwavering faith. Despite the burning pain, he did not scream or beg for mercy. His silence was a powerful display of his inner strength. The people watched in silence, their hearts moved by the boy's bravery. As the punishment continued, whispers spread among the crowd, murmurs of admiration for the boy's resilience, and questions about the faith that gave him such strength. The king, noticing the growing sympathy for the boy, became even more enraged. He realized that his plan was failing. Instead of breaking the boy's spirit, he was becoming a martyr in the eyes of the people. Next, the king ordered the boy to be thrown into a pit filled with wild animals. The pit was deep, with steep, unclimbable walls, a place where prisoners faced a terrifying end. The people held their breath as the boy was pushed into the pit, and the beasts began to circle him. The king watched with a malicious smile, confident that the boy's faith would finally crumble. However, when the beasts approached, the boy knelt and began to pray. His serenity in the face of imminent danger was impressive. Miraculously, the animals, instead of attacking, lay peacefully around him. It seemed as if a divine force had calmed their fierce instincts. The crowd was perplexed, and their amazement turned into a collective murmur of faith in the boy's God. The king, furious, realized that his attempts to break the boy's spirit had only served to strengthen his influence. Anxious to regain his authority, The king devised an even more sinister plan. He ordered that the boy be tied to a large rock and thrown into the deepest part of the ocean, believing that this would finally end the boy's insubordination. The soldiers took the boy to the coast, where a large crowd had gathered to witness the grim event. The boy was tied to the rock, and the soldiers began pushing it toward the edge of a cliff overlooking the raging sea. As they prepared to throw him into the water, the boy prayed once more, fully trusting in God. When the rock sank into the water, dragging the boy with it, the crowd held their breath. A few moments passed, and just when it seemed certain that the boy had met his end, a wave emerged, lifting the rock and the boy to the surface. The ropes miraculously loosened, and the boy was gently brought to shore by the waves. He emerged from the sea unscathed, his faith proving unbreakable once again. The people, witnessing another miracle, were astonished and filled with reverence. Many openly proclaimed their faith in the one true God, inspired by the boy's steadfastness and the divine interventions that had saved him. The king, watching from the shore, felt his grip on power slipping away. His subjects no longer feared him. Instead, they were drawn to the boy's God, whose power had been clearly demonstrated. The king knew he had to act quickly to regain his control. In a final desperate attempt, he decided to consult with his closest advisors and devise a plan that would eliminate the boy's influence once and for all. He called for a secret meeting in his palace, where he laid out his next move. The advisors, sensing the king's distress, suggested organizing a public spectacle that would leave no doubt about the boy's fate. The king ordered the construction of a large arena for the execution. This would be a grand event, attended by both the nobility and the common people. The boy would be tied to a stake in the center of the arena, and archers would be ordered to shoot arrows at him. The king believed that a public and ruthless execution would break the people's fascination with the boy and restore his authority. As the day of the execution approached, the boy remained calm and serene. His faith was stronger than ever, and he accepted his fate with dignity. On the appointed day, the arena was packed, the atmosphere charged with tension. The boy was brought to the center, and the crowd fell silent, their eyes fixed on him. Before the execution began, the boy, aware of the importance of the moment, addressed the crowd once more. "I accept my fate," he said, his voice strong and clear. "But know this, my death will not be in vain. My faith is a testimony to the one true God, and my sacrifice will inspire you to stand up for what is right." The king, eager to see the end of the boy, ordered the archers to aim. The boy then instructed the king to say, "In the name of the Lord of the boy," before releasing the arrows. Reluctantly, the king followed the boy's instructions, hoping that this final act would end the boy's rebellion. The archers released their arrows, and one struck the boy. He fell to the ground, succumbing to his wounds. The crowd was silent for a moment, and then a collective sigh rose as they understood what had happened. The boy had sacrificed himself, but in his sacrifice, he had achieved something significant. The people, moved by his act and by the invocation of the true God's name, began to openly proclaim their faith. They proclaimed their faith in the one true God, and the king's power crumbled irreversibly. In his death, the boy achieved a monumental victory. His unwavering faith and final sacrifice led to the enlightenment and liberation of the entire kingdom. The king, defeated and powerless, watched as his subjects turned away from him and embraced the faith the boy had so bravely defended. The boy's legacy endured, inspiring countless people to stand up for their beliefs and find strength in their faith. His story was told and retold, becoming a symbol of divine truth and the triumph of faith over tyranny. The kingdom, once ruled by fear and oppression, was transformed by the light of faith and the power of belief, all thanks to the courage and sacrifice of a young boy who never wavered in his devotion to the one true God.